Start, Devendra. Hello and welcome. We are on the campaign trail with the Congress candidate for Panjim, Elvis Combs. Elvis, of course, has been a former CCP commissioner, and ironically, when he was a CCP commissioner, one of his key opponents, Babush Montserrat, was the MLA of Talegaon, and there are some wards which fall under the CCP. Uh, uh, now, Elvis, what does it feel like to contest against somebody who was a kind of a boss of sorts?
I don't consider anybody as a boss right now. We are in a political.
Devendra, what happened? फिर से Hello and welcome. We are on the campaign trail with Elvis Combs, the Congress candidate for Panjim. Elvis has been a former commissioner of the CCP. Ironically, he was the commissioner when Babush Montserrat, one of his principal opponents, was the MLA of Talegaon, and some of the wards of Talegaon fall under the Panjim Corporation. So, Elvis, what does it feel like to contest against a former MLA and current MLA of Panjim, who was kind of a boss of sorts?
I have graduated as a politician, and now we are on equal terms. Former days, yes, of course. In fact, his first entry into politics, he became an MLA and directly became a minister under Mr. Manohar Parrikar. Those were the days when I have served as a bureaucrat. I have done my job. And now, over a period of time, since I have now come into mainstream politics and Indian National Congress reposed faith in me to contest from Panjim, I am prepared to take him as an opponent.
Let's get back to Panjim and what your plans are. We'll speak about your opponents in a bit. Let us kind of begin by asking you an interesting quiz question, Elvis. Do you remember who was the last MLA of Panjim, and how many years ago was he the MLA?
The last MLA, the formidable MLA who has been the longest.
The last Congress MLA.
The last Congress MLA, of course, was Mr. J.B. Gonsalves, and it's been a long time now, more than 25 years since Congress has not been here in.
It's actually 33 years.
33 years, okay. Yes. And I think it's time. It's time for a change. Manohar Parrikar came from in 1994 under situation whereby there was a split in votes, and since that time there was no looking back. People reposed their faith in him. But post Manohar Parrikar, I think a good leadership is required in this capital city, and I think मेरी काबिलियत है ये अपना.
But Elvis, why has the Congress been unable to establish a foothold in Panjim for so many years? Because 33 years is a long time, and you were only 25, 26 when the last Congress MLA was here.
Yeah. I see there is a lot of scope for improvement in the organizational structure of the Congress. We must admit that. Nevertheless, what is important is that there is a strong base of the Congress. All that is required is a little kind of leadership. Now that I have taken the leadership, to convert that base into a stronger base and make it very strong for the Congress in future. Congress has delivered in the past, all said and done, and therefore this time people are reposing faith in the Congress.
Let's look at the city of Panjim, as it were. Yes. Panjim was a kind of jewel in the crown of Goa, and there was a lot of hope. It was one of the most beautiful towns, and then now it is supposed to be a smart city. But you, as a citizen, you launched this whole Citizens for Democracy, where you spoke against the entire alleged corruption in the smart city project, and you had said that out of the entire scam is worth about 669 crores. You said that amount has been siphoned. That's probably more than the actual outlay. And you said that only about 100 crores has been spent. Can you just tell us, according to you, what is the nature of the scam, who are responsible, and the specific places where these scams are visible?
This smart city mission is the mother of all scams in Panjim. I have gone through all these kind of processes in the past, where public taxpayers' money is getting infused on creating certain infrastructure, upgrading infrastructure, and making the quality of life better for the citizens. Now, Panjim, by virtue of being the capital, was chosen as one among the smart cities in India. And a total outlay of, as rightly said, 669 crores as per their own websites. And right now, what is happening with this 669 crores, nobody knows. You just, right now, as I'm speaking with you, these shameless guys, after I have raised this issue, also have not improved their website. Not a single work has been on display, what exactly is happening. There are various components they have worked out just before the code of conduct came into force. They have rushed through the expenditure. They have given work orders amounting to crores of rupees. Let's take the case of CCTV cameras. Now, if you see Panjim is being dug very badly, nobody knows why it is being dug. They want to lay a cable for CCTV cameras. Today, technology is there where you don't even have to trench. Okay, the road and you can get the best out of it. 128 crores on a small town to put CCTV cameras. This itself is a big scam. Then they are talking about laying roads, smart roads. Now, what is smart roads? The citizens don't know. There is no public participation in this whole process. Initially, they did some consultation. Thereafter, they have forgotten the people. Now, what they are doing, they only know. They have given work orders for 2 smart roads. Now, what are the smart roads? What are the components of the smart roads? So nobody knows. The smart roads have to be completed within a period of 18 months. That is a year and a half. Now, remember one thing, this mission started 6 years ago. And this mission was due for completion last year. Now that the central government has given 2 years extension. But believe me, out of the 669 crores, they have given work orders, but nothing as yet has been completed. 6 years down the line, there is no completion. So there is no accountability of the kind of money that has been spent. You go and talk about smart roads to be completed in 18 months. And then you talk about laying of sewerage line in 36 months. So you're going to complete it in 18 months and then dig again and put, the sewerage line later. What kind of planning is this?
What about the footpaths and the pathways that they claim that they have done?
They have not done this. There is another mission called simultaneously working called Atal mission. That is urban rejuvenation. They have concretized the beach there. There is no planning there also. The CRZ violations are very rampant. And I'll tell you one more thing. By past experience, with Dr. Antonio Mascarenas, we had done an experiment of creating artificial sand dunes. If you see as the monsoon approaches, there is a lot of,
This was basically to protect the shore.
protect the shore. Now what has happened is they are protected with concrete. It's not going to work. What is going to happen is with the strong gale, the force of the wind, all the sand is going to accumulate. But they have made their money. They have done it and they have made their money. So what I'm saying is whether you lay CCTV cameras or whether you put smart roads or whether you put sewerage networks, there has to be a holistic planning. There has to be an integration of all the departments. Today, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. And at whose cost? Ultimately, it is a taxpayer that is bearing this brunt. And an already well developed smart city is being degraded by this infusion of public funds. The effect is reverse. That is what is detestable. That is what is needs investigation. Exactly what is happening.
Elvis, tell me, if you are elected, what will you do as far as the smart city is concerned? Will you put a hold on to the project right away? Though it's a central project, will you do a complete review?
It is not only a central project; it is an equal participation project where 50% of the funds are coming from the state treasury also.
Right.
50% are coming from the center. So there has to be accountability to the people of Goa also. Their funds also are going into all this. I will just go. I will appoint immediately a commission within a period of 15 days to see what exactly has happened with the smart city fund. See, there is a mechanism, there is a well laid down procedure by the central government, how these funds are to be spent. They have not followed that. They are now just rushing through the expenditure because they want to make their money. You give the work order and get the commission back. These are all kickback affairs. City is not becoming smart and the citizens are kept out of this process. I want to get the citizens back. That is what I am going to do first.
What was interesting is that the Santinas Creek project, and that's been a white elephant for a long time. Every government promises to clean up the Santinas Creek, to dredge it and so on and so forth. Now it is also affecting the groundwater and the fields of Talegaon and other places. Now, why wasn't the Santinas Creek brought under this project and got into and implemented?
Because this whole planning is done by the bureaucrats. Do you know who was the chairman of this Imagine Panaji Public Limited Corporation? Was the chief secretary of Goa. So that's what I'm saying. The people should have been on board as the board of directors. There should have been the experts from the city. Right. That Santinas has become an eyesore. That is ignored. The culture of the city, the cultural heritage of the city is ignored. That these funds should have been applied here. I can see a lot of poverty here. Some of the old houses are actually, in a dilapidated condition. What are you doing about that? How are you touching the lives of people? Right. And if you go to Altagimara, see the kind of state of affairs there. You go to Ribandar, see the state of affairs there. Nobody is bothered. See, there is a dark underbelly to this city. There is abject poverty which is not visible. This smart city fund should have been used on those people.
And this is supposed to be the capital of
the capital of Panjim. It's really, you go to Altino Hill, there is a slum kind of location where people need help. Right. People don't have basic facilities, like there is no drinking water here on the top when I've gone there. So If you don't improve the quality of life of the people by infusing this money, then what is a smart city mission for?
Right.
Just to do some chaka-chak here and there and show some glamour?
But if that is the case, then why has Panjim given such a long run to say Manohar Parrikar? And then, of course, Babush Ponserat is now has been an MLA once through a by-election, and he's aiming to be one again. If so many problems do exist, why do people decisively vote in favor of the same party or individuals?
I think that was a larger than life, sort of figure that Panjim had. And
No,
so
I'm talking of post Manohar Parrikar.
Post Manohar Parrikar, I think it's time now. People have made a mistake in the past by reposing their faith in Mr. Monserrat, and now this is the time for course correction, because you can't allow the city to remain in such hands. We need good people to come forward, and we need public participation. We need transparency and completely open. Right now, I just mentioned to you the website doesn't show where the money is going. Then what else is left? This is din dahade chori na of funds.
Elvis, Panjim unfortunately has become a very expensive election to fight, and the role of Manipar has been visible. It's been spoken about, and so on and so forth. The politics of washing machines and fridges and scooters is there not only in the assembly elections, but you could see that even in the corporation elections. The amount of largesse that is distributed then is huge, and so. How do you fight against this? Because there is obviously a class of people, and you said there is poverty, there is economic deprivation, and there is a class of people which also kind of gets swayed by that kind of. I'm not only saying it's money largesse, but at the end of the day, the MLA also kind of pays your bills. He looks after your health bills. He sees to it that your children's school education is taken care of, and so on and so forth. So when you have that kind of a supposed Robin Hood kind of a figure in front of you, how do you tackle that? Because those issues to many people are more important than cleaning up a creek or giving you a better road.
Do a review of these people who receive such kind of largesse, and then check whether 5 years down the line their quality of life has improved. It is not a case. You just feed them for a day and it doesn't work. You teach them how to live, it works for a lifetime. I am here, I am not from that category where I am going to give fridges, and I do not have fridges from where I am going to give fridges. So, but one thing is for certain, Panjim constituency by and large is aware. The people of Panjim are aware exactly what they need to do. This time at least, they have a good choice, they have an alternative, they have the Congress party, which binds everybody together, keeps everybody together. So these factors, my candidature and the Congress party is working in favor of the Congress, and this Congress this time is poised to win. See, this situation, where you keep people subjugated, keep people into abject bondage. I will call it bondage. See, we are living in this life once, boss. You come into this life and you go. You live without fear, free, from freedom, in freedom. You take that, whatever they give, those fridges and all, and remain as a bonded labor of theirs, as a bonded slave. And then the people's life, is so miserable that they are not even allowed to talk to somebody freely.
Right.
This kind of situation should not be there. We have to come out of it, and I am here to go to change that.
Though the time is short, it was a short but good riveting discussion. Elvis, as you continue and get into different homes, and we are actually in a very beautiful area and locality of Panjim, Mala, Fontanish, and you've of course been the commissioner of this town of ours, and we wish you all the very best in your efforts, and see you on the other side of the 10th of March. Thank you very much for joining us.
Not only that, we are going to soon have Priyanka Gandhi coming on the 7th here.
Right.
Walking the streets of Panjim.
Right.
So that will add some
Give you a
glamour to
boost.
our
Okay.
gesture.
And boost. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elvis. Thank you.